Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the MetaStellar YouTube channel. My name is Maria KOROLOV. I'm the editor here at MetaStellar, and this is the Free Friday report. And I'm here to tell you that the top-selling free speculative fiction book on Amazon today is a very sexy book about purple aliens by a USA Today bestselling author. And in fact, all 8 books of that series are free today, and they're dominating the top 10 lists. And the first book in the precursor series to this one has like 4,000 5-star reviews. I mean, people love this author. I think she's been a USA Today bestseller more than a dozen times. So people love these books, pick them up. But before we get to that book, we have a whole bunch of other books to talk about. You see, every single Friday, the team here at MetaStellar reads the first few chapters of every book on Amazon's top 10 list. Today, I was helped out by reviews editor, assistant fiction editor Terrence Smith, and community members Alex Mueller, Tim McHugh, and Lily Jones. And Alex Mueller is here with us today. Hi, Alex.
Hello.
For those who are new, MetaStellar is an online magazine of speculative fiction. All the content is always free to our readers. We publish original short fiction, excerpts, essays, and lots of book reviews. We're able to do this thanks to our Patreon supporters. And we have 2 anthologies out that you can pick up. The links to both of them are in the description box below, as are the links to all the books we're going to be talking about today and to the story where you can read the full in-depth review of every book. All right. Let's get into the books, starting with book number 10 on today's list. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see that. All right, this is The Soul Thief by Kim Richardson, and Tim McHugh read this for us. It's the first of 4 books in the Horizon Chronicles, an urban fantasy series. The other books are $3 to $4 each, and they're not on Kindle Unlimited. This is the author's first time on our Free Friday list. So Kindle Unlimited is where you pay $12 a month and read all the books you want. It's kind of like Netflix for books. This book is not in it, so you're going to have to pay for the rest of the books in the series, whether or not you're a Kindle Unlimited member. So this is a book about a mortal girl who dies and starts a new life as a guardian angel. Tim says he loves all speculative fiction, but this one's a bit outside his wheelhouse. He doesn't usually read post-death supernatural books, but says he isn't intrigued by the premise. So Alexa is a 17-year-old high school student. She dies when she falls down the stairs. And before she even realizes she's dead, she finds herself in an afterlife she didn't expect. Not quite heaven or hell, but a ministry comprised of guardian angels. They protect mortal souls from demons who walk the earth. And Alexa has been picked to be one of them. So after a year of training, she goes on her first assignment to investigate a murder where they couldn't find a soul. And she goes down to the mortal world and discovers that a demon has been preying on mortals, sucking their souls from their body. And she fights off the demon and kills it, but in its death throes, the demon curses her and warns of a deeper evil that will soon take down all guardian angels. Tim says that it's a very interesting premise. He likes the setup and likes the writing. Mostly likes the dialogue, except for some corny stuff during the fight scenes. So he says that if you like the premise, you might like this book as well. And it kind of reminds me of the TV show Dead Like Me. So I might check that out as well. Okay, next, we're going to skip the next book because it's one of the sequels to the #1 book today. Actually, it's the first book in that series, but I'm going to save it to last. So I'm going to skip ahead to book number 8, Domino Theory by Christopher White and Monica Porter. So this is the first of 3 books in the Domino post-apocalyptic sci-fi series. The other books are $6 each, but they're both in Kindle Unlimited. And we previously reviewed this book in October of 2022. And Lily Jones says that this book is set in a future United States on the West Coast where the country is ravaged by ecological disaster. The seas have risen, temperatures soar, people live under climate-controlled domes, and something happened that has split humans into a new species, and American cities have all become independent districts. And the book starts right out in the middle of the action. Iris is one of our main characters, running from two thugs who want to capture her. And she's in Los Angeles, and she ducks under the polluted water of Venice Beach, risking severe chemical burns in order to escape, and then calls her best friend to come rescue her because she injured her ankle in the chase. And then meanwhile, another character, Xander, is arrested for beating up a man who insulted that other human species. And he's in Seattle. He's taken to a police station. And so he's about to be punished. And the chapter ends with us not knowing which of two possible punishment options he's going to pick. So Lily says she was excited about the dystopian setting and the climate premise. And she likes that it's not all info dumped right at the beginning about what's happening in the world, and you learn as you go along. And she says that she definitely sees herself finishing this book. Next, we have number 7, Soulweaver by Heidi Catherine. The first of 3 books in the Soulweaver fantasy romance series. The other books are $3 to $5 each, but they're both in Kindle Unlimited. The author has been on our Free Friday list before. Oh, and Alex read this one. So Alex, what did you think of this book?
Well, it certainly had an interesting beginning, coming across a lot like a horror movie, actually. We start off with a young couple making out in the woods before they're attacked by the killer. So all very horror movie stuff. That's where the similarity ends, unfortunately, and unfortunately, so does logic. Instead of our young couple trying to run away from the killer, they get into a fight over who gets to be the human shield. And I don't mean the girl. How do I put this? This fight is about who gets one half of the couple trying to sacrifice the other to the killer. It's a the couple starts fighting over who gets to sacrifice themselves, with them both constantly jumping around to try and get in front of the other. It's all very strange, and it's also all meaningless eventually, because our protagonist, the girl in the couple, Hannah, she decides to just give up on life and dies of a heart attack. It's all very, very surreal and kind of anticlimactic. We get to learn a little bit about the afterlife, though, because the story continues from Hannah's perspective after she's dead. Reincarnation is a thing in this story, and people, or at least their souls, don't stay dead, so that's pretty neat. Also, those souls get to hang out on Earth for a little while longer where they get to say goodbye to their loved ones, so that's a nice touch. And that's basically the gist of what I got out of the 3 chapters I got to read. Hannah stays dead, and the rest of the bit I read, she was spending time hanging out with her still living boyfriend. Honestly, this kind of book isn't my thing. Like I said, the beginning was kind of confusing. The death of our protagonist was anticlimactic. Everything is just so, and it takes a long time for anything interesting to get started. What I think this book does well is describe the plight of a person who has suffered a serious loss. From the boyfriend's perspective, we get to see a person mourning and their recovery after they've suffered the loss of a loved one. So I feel that a lot of people can relate to this piece in that sense. Even so, it's not a particularly fun read. I don't plan on going forward with this.
Okay, next we have book 6. Let me make that a little bigger for you guys. There we go. It's a box set, The 100 Halls by Thomas Carpenter, and it's the first 3 books in the 100 Halls series, which is 5 books total, and it's a Magic Academy series. The other 2 books, they're $7 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. And Terrence Smith read this for us, and he says that it starts out with Ori and Pi, two young sisters in the city of Invictus. And this city is in something that's like our modern world. There's mobile phones and Diet Cokes, but in this universe, magic is common as well. And he says that the magic system is similar to the one in Harry Potter, or maybe to the Force in Star Wars. So in the sense that anyone can have the ability, but it requires proper training to wield, otherwise chaos breaks out. So these two sisters are both orphaned and are working to support themselves, and they also wanted to get into the magic school of their dreams. But Ori loses her job at a hospital because she's trying to save a patient from getting hurt from the entitled daughter of the director. And Pi leases her soul for 3 years in order to pass the test to get into the school. So Terrence says that you really start to care for these sisters right from the beginning. Ori loves the kids at the hospital, and she's really hurt that she can't say goodbye after she's been fired. And Pi steps in to help people who are being mistreated. Terrence says that he himself is not planning to continue with the book, but it's an interesting story. Fusion of the magic school and urban fantasy genres. And if you like those, he suggests you can check it out. All right, next we have a bunch more books in that Purple Alien series. So, yeah, so we can do all those. So before we do that, I want to thank our Patreon supporters. Marie Leclerc, Humphrey Price, Alexander KOROLOV, Avery Parks, Terrence Smith, Brad Center, David Plummeter, Anastasia KOROLOV, Amir Lutfi, and Melody Friedenthal. We love you. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you. And now on to the Purple Alien books. So there are 8 of these books that are all free today. Normally they're $4 each, and they're in Kindle Unlimited. So if you missed the opportunity to get them today and you're a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, you can go back and get them later. So the premise is that this is in the far future. Earth has been destroyed and humans have been enslaved by an evil race of aliens. And there's a different race of aliens, the Zandians, who are purple, who are good aliens. And the Zandians have recently won a battle to win back the planet, and they now are trying to repopulate this planet, but there's a shortage of female Zandians, because of course there are. And humans, meanwhile, are living in slavery, enslaved to these other evil aliens. And Zandia promises them a place to live and relative freedom. But the catch is that they have to mate with the Zandians because Zandians don't have enough women. And in the books I've read so far, I haven't come across any human men. So I don't know what happened to them because I only read a few chapters into each book. The books are extremely readable, which kind of makes sense given who the author is. They are extremely explicit and very, very sexy. The premise for me is very problematic. So there's issues of slavery. The Zandians aren't the owners of these human women that they save or buy, but they are their masters. And if the human woman disobeys them, they get punished by sexual punishment. So super creepy. Sometimes there's multiple Zandians sharing one woman, also a little creepy. So I have some issues with the premise of this series. But I also have to say that these books are very, very difficult to put down. So it's like insane. So let me give you the beginning of the first book in the series, just to give you a taste of what they're like. So Ria's planet, I assume Earth, has been destroyed 1,000 years ago by these evil aliens. She's been promised a refuge on Zandia. But in order to stay on Zandio, she'll have to become a Zandian bride. And she thinks one of these warriors is hot, but she doesn't want to become a broodmare for them, so she runs away and hides. Then we switch to the point of view of Terran, the alien she thought was sexy, and he wants to claim Maria before anyone else does because he doesn't want a human wife either, but he doesn't want anyone else to have her. And oh, by the way, he's going to have to share her with his 2 cousins because the only way they can get a homestead on Zandia if they find a human female to become part of their family. Luckily, both his cousins want her too. And all of this is written in a very, very sexually explicit language. So I understand why these books are on the top 10 list. But there's also a whole bunch of backstory that I get a sense that I'm missing. And I looked it up, and there's a prequel series called Zandian Masters. There's 10 books in that series. They're not on Kindle Unlimited. They're $3 to $10 each. And the first one has nearly 4,000 5-star reviews on Amazon. So if this is your kind of thing, pick up these books. And if you want to learn more about the prehistory of this whole world, check out the Zandian Masters. The link is in the description box below to everything. All right. I want to thank you, everybody, for joining me here today. And thank you, Alex, for helping me out with today's Free Friday. And if you guys don't want to miss any of these Free Friday reviews in your inbox every Friday, you can subscribe to our newsletter or subscribe to this channel. Thanks, everybody, and have a great weekend. Enjoy all this smutty reading. Bye, everybody.